Good-o. Thanks, everyone. Nothing in front of you to fiddle with, thanks, and nothing in your hands. Carl Lambert, that means put your phone away. You know the rules. It'll be mine for the day. Now come on, put it away. Welcome to another day. Today is Wednesday, the 21st of April when I'm taping this. It's a bit of a grey old day after yesterday, which was glorious, but Skippy, stop whispering it. Whispering's the same as talking, you know that. Yesterday was glorious, but it's Southland, so we take it as it comes. It's a funny old world we live in when we actually get to write our own farewell spiel and pick and choose who we want to do what at our own funeral. Choices we get to make now are so different than the past, and in this case I believe infinitely better. God, I sound like a queen. As long as all going well, we aren't in a lockdown. Sorry, for the first time ever, I don't have a plan B. This is all going to be a bit random as I'm recording thoughts I jotted down over a few days, so don't expect any great oracle from me or any great enlightenment. It's just chit-chat. Kath, are you using your scarf already? Come on, got a long way to go. After I'm cremated, I want my ashes to be scattered behind Roxbury School in the Clutha River. I want it to be a clear spring morning, about 11 a.m, when the blossoms on the trees and the morning mist is just starting to burn off the water. I lived in Roxbury very happily for 17 years, and my dearest friends from there sit with my family today. Roxbury is my two-runner waiwai, my place to stand. It's where the kids were raised and where I began my teaching career, my two greatest accomplishments I believe in life. Long before the big Cindy became Prime Minister and told us to be kind to one another, I've been saying the same thing. Kindness is the greatest and easiest thing we can give to each other, along with our time. I want to be remembered for a few other very specific qualities, and forgive me if it sounds as if I'm being a wee bit verbose, but this is how I see myself. I was funny. I was generous. I was brave. Sometimes I could even be a bit wise. I was strong. I was loyal. I was resilient, but most of all, I always tried to be kind. Everyone, try to be happy with your lives. Change what you can and accept what you can. No, sorry, we'll do that again. Change what you can and accept what you can't. It's all right, we'll just leave it now. Look after your family. Have each other's backs. Don't let small things become out of proportion, and never ever let the bastards get you down. To me, the glass was always half full, because really, I drank the top half, hadn't I? I loved my family and friends without fail. Kyra, Tamara, Cullen, Damon and Noxie. All my wee grandies, you are my heart. Kyra, I was there when you popped out from Mum, and I looked straight at you, and you looked straight back at me. You looked like a wee Eskimo. It was like a giant hand squeezed my heart, and I knew you were mine. That love, the laughter, fun and responsibility goes to all 5 of you wee grandies. I wasn't the best mum ever. I was sometimes too critical. I could be hard when maybe I should have been gentle. And sometimes I may have even been a bit self-absorbed. I know, hard to believe, but maybe that's the truth. Oopsies, I've lost my place. Hold on. Bear with. Hold on. Is this a bit where you'll have to fix it up, Matt?
Yep.
Right. 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 I may have been a bit self-absorbed, but never ever did I not love you to the moon and back again, and it hurts my heart to know that I have to leave now, but apparently someone needs me elsewhere. You 3 are all loving, generous and loyal adults. You've negotiated through the highs and lows in your own way, and I'm so proud to be able to call you my own. This is a hard bit. Late, I would have taken every bit of hurt and fear you and Hayley suffered in Damon's first weeks to have avoided seeing your pain, but I couldn't. And somehow the 2 of you came out the other side with strength and love together, and a little boy as smart as a whip, and with a mouth like a potty. If you were here, then I meant something to you, and you meant something to me. So to the students of Menzies College, you are a fine group of young men and women. Go on with your lives with confidence, heads up and bums tucked in. My whānau, AMK, for those of you at school currently and those of you who have left, we are whānau. I took my role seriously and I followed you all closely at school and beyond. If you've been an 8BY or if I've taught you in another subject or worked with you in a production, I hope I haven't maimed your minds too much. Just about everything I taught you was true and accurate. As time goes by, well, you'll find out the bits I may have embellished a wee bit. Staff and friends at Menzies, you're a special group of people, and my last 13 years working with you have been happy ones with my Menzies family. My friends Helen, Matthews and Dinesy, how lucky I am to have people who care about me as much as I care about them, and in too many ways that can be numbered, but you know how I feel and I know how you feel. Skippy, oh Skippy, You've been my friend, my whānau buddy and my driving mate for years now, and I can say with honesty we've never really had a crossword. This is probably testament more to your good nature and to our ability to be able to laugh at ourselves and each other. You've been my PA, remembering appointments when my brain was particularly scrambled. You've checked my graft for skin breaks, and on many occasions you've had to physically lift my leg into the car because I no longer had the strength to be able to do it. I can't help noticing though, Skippy, you've never come true on the promise of a piggyback yet. My friends, my Roxy gals, what a long and happy 27 years we've had together as mates. All this time since I lived in Roxburgh, and I still feel as close to you now as I did back then. One of you are almost always, without fail, the first message I receive in the morning and the last one I receive at night. And now finally the last bit, and this is likely to get a bit messy, so bear with. For my family, oldest kid to youngest, Leighton, Sean and Lise, Hayley, Annie and Jono, and my brothers and my sister, Peter, Philip, Annette, and my sister-in-laws, Anne-Marie and Cindy, and my dear brother-in-law, Paul. I don't have to fiddle now with the computer again. You've given me love and support that I needed to get me through this, and it's the little things in life that count at the end, it turns out. The time for grand gestures is over, so the care packages of baking and small meals from Anne-Marie and Philip were a big deal, as was running around dropping equipment off for me, or organising an alarm system so I could feel safe in my own home against falls. Pete, on one of your few days off, you made a batch of wontons and sweet and sour sauce and fried rice for me, and that was priceless, as was the day that you took me for my CAT scan. I was really frightened about that, but you actually made it okay because you were calm. Having my big brother with me was more important than I'd have realised it could have been. Cindy, when you couldn't be with me, you were always on the end of the phone, checking to see how my day had been, or if I needed anything. After years of being an independent adult, being unable to drive and get my own groceries was one of the most debilitating parts of being at home. Annette, my dear sister, my little sissy, coming on all the medical appointments so that at the end of the day at least I had a vague idea of what was actually being said. This was probably the most important part of my overall care, because otherwise no one would have had a clue as to what was going on if you were relying on me to report it back. You've been my rock since all this drama with my shonky leg started 10 years ago, and I wouldn't have made it through each new stumbling block without you. Jono, you took such good care of Annalise and the girls on the day I was given my diagnosis. You cut your work trip short, and you organised the girls for swimming and dinner arrangements ahead of you getting home, so Annalise could stay with me and the rest of the family. Paul, you continued to chip in with your usual snippy wee comments in the background when Nete and I were on the phone. You maintained a normality when nothing else was normal for any of us. Annie, your sweetness and willingness to always do whatever was needed was obvious to us all. Annalise, you gave me the most precious gift of all. You gave me your time. You spent hours with me, chatting about everything and nothing at all. And how sad it is that we had to wait till this stage in our lives to get to that stage in my death. Late, you've built me a magnificent casket, a chariot from scratch to be carried off in. And just so you all know, it's purple because it's my favourite colour, nothing to do with wanting to be in Totara. And believe me, on the inside I'm yellow. Sean, well Sean, you've just been you, and that's always been enough for me. So, indulge in a few snotty sniffs now if you need to, but no one use your sleeve. And don't be sad for too long. I'm at peace with how things have played out, and I hope that as time's gone by, I'm closest to being able to be at peace as well. Life isn't fair, but get used to it when you're younger, because it certainly saves a lot of disappointment when you get to my age. I'm off to see my mum and my wee Damon. I'll have a coffee with Carol and a wine with Ginny. Who am I kidding? We'll have a bottle. I'm not gone. I'm somewhere in the ether watching out over proceedings. I'm around a corner, ready to catch you if you fall. And somewhere, I'm just over the rainbow, hopefully sitting on that pot of gold. So long, farewell, a Wiedersehen, goodbye. I'm off to see the baby Jesus, safe at last. Right, cheers, stat quietly, thanks. Class dismissed.